Good evening. Welcome to this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show. My name is Leon Jones. Tonight's topic: anger is a strong emotion, not a mental health issue. Now, why am I bringing out anger? Well, anger can lead into mental health effects. Now, a lot of us, including myself, I get angry. I've had anger problems in the past, but a lot of us really don't understand anger. We just know it as a strong emotion to a negative circumstance. Now, the funny thing about anger, as emotions go, it's often pretty clear cut and it's really subtle. But there is an emotion that is more misunderstood. Many believe that holding in anger is bad for you as well. Why? Because it builds pressure to be expressed. In fact, sudden bursts of anger or prolonged anger are very bad for you. A strong emotion that is accompanied by arousal of the nervous system, anger produces effects throughout the body. It eats away at your cardiovascular system, your gut, and hijacks your central nervous system in your body, often obliterating capacity for clear thinking, and anger may grow in intensity. But express it, you're not necessarily better off either. Anger doesn't automatically dissipate by being unleashed. We rarely experience catharsis. Venting it in words or action doesn't make anger easy to manage either. Often it increases the intensity of the feeling. Now, anger often feeds on itself, plus by furthering aggression, it often brings irreversible damage to those in the immediate vicinity. People have trouble managing anger and other negative emotions. Anger is one of the few emotions men consider acceptable to display, but that does not mean they will respond well when someone else displays anger towards them. Now, in many cultures, women are under pressure to conceal their anger. Sometimes they do such a good job, they don't even recognize it in themselves. Because anger is such a forceful, negative emotion, it makes people uncomfortable. Taboos about expressing it are widespread. How many of us have heard some variation of this refrain while growing up? If you are going to stomp around the house, you can go to your room and stay there until you've finished being angry. Parents have told us that for years. Did it work? Well, the sad upshot is, under those conditions, no one learns how to manage anger appropriately. People may not even recognize when they're angry, or they may conceal anger until it explodes out of them in a form of hurtful words or deeds. Now, that deed can be a violent deed. Now, studies show that the ability to identify and label emotions correctly and talk about them straightforwardly to the point of feeling misunderstood makes negative feelings dissipate, and the physiologic arousal that accompanies those feelings also diminishes dramatically. But when anger is deemed unacceptable, people stay in a state of arousal, unable to pay attention to what's going on around them in the world, unable to regulate their own behavior, and focused only on the emotional state. In fact, they tend to experience excessive physiologic arousal in situations involving negative emotions, but they tend not to display any external signs of emotional response. Imagine how that can confuse a friend or a spouse. That's because they hide their emotions but feel anxious in emotionally evocative situations. Sometimes, however, telling someone we are angry brings feelings of relief, especially when we express why we are angry. Psychologists believe that the relief we feel under those circumstances results not from venting the anger, but from identifying the anger arousing circumstances and working towards a solution. And that points to the positive value that anger has. It's a great motivation for change, or a great motivator for change. It encourages us to speak up about something that is bothering us. But it's all in how you do it. Because in goading us to action about things that upsets us, anger can also prompt us to overreact. So first and foremost, Strengthen your fuse so that you are not reacting to every tiny upset or everything that's upsetting you, and you can think your way to a constructive solution. Now, some of the solutions that you can utilize when you're angry: take 3 breaths. When you're angry, your body becomes tense. Breathing deeply will ease your tension and help lower your internal anger meter. And it will also lower your blood pressure. Change your environment. The quickest way to uncouple yourself from an ongoing source of anger is to take a 5-minute walk to get some fresh air. Stuck in traffic, take a mental escape by turning up your radio and singing at the top of your lungs. Well, I don't necessarily agree with that. What you ought to do is turn on your radio, listen to some good news and some educational radio. And okay, if you got some good music, you can listen to that as well. But when you're stuck in traffic, you got to be patient because you're in a situation that you cannot control. Now, know why you're angry. Track down the clues about the kinds of things, situations, and events that trigger your anger. Anger often masks our deepest fears. In an angry making situation, ask yourself what deep fears might be stirring in you. Let go of what is beyond your control, like being stuck in traffic. You can only change yourself and your responses to others, not what others do to you. So getting angry doesn't fix the situation, and it makes you feel worse. If someone is constantly arousing your anger, focus on the troublesome situation and brainstorm solutions. Express yourself. Be sure to think first and use measured tones and words that are not emotionally loaded. In a non-confrontational way, state that you are angry and identifying the situation that makes you angry and why it ticks you off. Be cautious. There are situations in expressing your anger, and if you don't do it correctly, it could be some dangerous effects. Now, having a jealous or abusive partner is one. Now, venting to a friend instead of the person who wronged you, you may wind up with some situations you never imagined. Be assertive, not aggressive, in expressing yourself. Now, assertiveness requires speaking in an effective, nonviolent way towards a constructive goal. It may help you if you rehearse your response before delivering it. And this is why, with this day and age, if you're angry, don't send anybody out a text message or an email, because you have a number of people who hide behind technology. I always believe you should confront the person that you are angry with and sit down with a logical conversation or meeting, particularly at work, because you want to diffuse the situation. Because, again, anger is a strong emotion, and a lot of us really don't know how to manage it. Now, if you don't know how to manage it on your own, the best thing you should do is seek help. Now, also make positive statements. Memorize a few positive statements to say when your anger is triggered. They will remind you that you can choose your behavior instead of reacting in a knee-jerk way. Now, for example, you might say, I can take care of my own needs, or his needs are just as important as mine, or I am able to make good choices. Whatever the situation, you have to use common sense when you are angry, because many of us, when it comes to being angry, especially after someone has done something to us, we really want revenge. Well, the problem is, when you're looking for revenge, you're not going to help the situation. You're just going to extend the situation. Now, when I mentioned that anger is a strong emotion and not a mental health issue, well, anger can lead to mental health and even health issues like heart disease, cardiovascular problems, and high blood pressure. Why? Because your blood pressure is being raised when you are angry. And what happens? You tend to overreact emotionally. Now, if you've been watching my channel, I did a video on being logical or clear thinking best emotional behavior. And see, a lot of us, when we're angry, we're not thinking logically or critically, we're thinking on an emotional level. And clear thinking is always above emotional thinking, because with clear thinking, you can actually come up with solutions because you are thinking through situations on how to solve a problem. But anger can be very difficult to deal with if you're only feeling the reaction or looking at the reaction. Because as human beings, we are going to get angry. I've gotten angry myself. Now, what did I do? If I couldn't solve it on my own, I would seek professional help. Get some stress builders, meditation, hypnosis, acupuncture. You need some relaxation techniques to help you through the anger problems. Also, taking care of business at hand. And what I mean by taking care of business at hand is make sure that your life is being conducted in an organizational way. Now, what am I talking about? Well, prioritize your finances, know what you need to do at work, understand that you can't control what other people do. You have to control what you do. And if you look at everything from a common sense perspective, when dealing with anger, you can manage it. Now, you don't need to have a master's degree or a PhD to figure this out. Because when I speak in layman terms. There was one gentleman that actually told me, and it's true, we were talking about how to improve my YouTube channel. Because they had said a few things about me. I was angry about it. Gentlemen would never confront me about it, but that's okay. I stayed the course. I utilized my common sense to get through a situation that I could have exploded with anger, but I didn't do it. But what I did, I looked at what I needed to abide by, my own code, to not overreact. Because people are going to talk about you right here on YouTube, and you're going to get angry. Like, again, somebody said they tried to tell me how to make my channel better, and I didn't listen to them because I had a master's degree, and I thought that I knew more than they did. That was farthest from the truth. I never said that. But that person wanted to make themselves feel good when all they had to do was confront me, and everything would have been okay. And at that moment, in my mind, I was thinking, well, okay, I didn't know which way I wanted to go with my own channel. So instead of getting angry about it, I just ignored the situation, and I felt better about it, because had I gotten angry at this person, it wouldn't have done me any good except raise my blood pressure. And I know that there are situations that people are going to tick you off. But you must understand yourself and control your own temper. Because the minute you lose your temper, it could be catastrophic for you. But if you don't know how to manage anger, seek help. And anger is in all of us, from the quiet person to the most assertive person. But at the end of the day, you are the star of your own life. So when it comes to any personal problems, especially when it comes to the issue of anger, you must know how to manage your own emotions. And anger is a strong emotion that can lead to mental health issues. As I mentioned, your blood pressure, your heart rate, they're going to go up. You can have a stroke by being angry, especially if your anger is over small items constantly. Because small items can escalate into bigger items. See, the bigger items you don't deal with every day. It's the small items. So you have to get the small items under control so you won't become angry. So what I'm telling all of my viewers is when you deal with angry situations, try to find a common sense or logical approach. You don't have to have a PhD. You don't have to have a master's degree or a bachelor's degree. You just speak in layman terms so everybody can understand it. Like me, I have the education credentials, although I'm not a psychologist or a sociologist or a mental health professional. What I do is speak in terms that you can understand, and I break down a topic, and you don't have to use large vocabulary words. The only thing you have to do is give people the information, and they don't understand the information. I provide the tool to help them understand the information. That's why I say if you have any problems with what I say, you can leave it in the comment section or you leave me an email. Because believe it or not, folks, we're all human. We all get angry at one time or another. The successful people know how to manage their anger, and the unsuccessful people don't know how to manage their anger. And at the end of the day, anger can get you in a lot of trouble. In some situations, behind bars or death. So what I'm telling you to do or suggesting you to do is to manage anger properly. Talk things out. Relaxation techniques like meditation. And if they all fail, seek help. There are plenty of good support groups out there in the United States and the world that can help you suppress anger. Because at the end of the day, you want to be a clear thinker when you have to meet your life's goals. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show for this evening, Sunday, July 30th, 2017. And you can tune into the 411 Talk Zone radio show every Saturday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio. Guest call-in number is 215-383-5785. Now, if you like my videos, please share and subscribe to the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube so I can continue to give you quality information for educational purposes from a professional and mature perspective. Now, on this channel, I don't engage in debates, controversy, or emotions or emotional issues. Now, the issues that I present, if they become emotional, that is based on how the individual is taking the issues that I'm presenting. Furthermore, I do not involve myself with drama or unnecessary bickering because it is counterproductive. What I do on this channel is teach. I give you the information from a realistic but positive perspective, and I utilize common sense because I research the issues and I give you my own personal opinion because the real world is very challenging, and if you don't have the tools, you're not going to be able to survive in the real world. And at the end of the day, when you look at knowledge, it's very powerful. And if you have a business, a topic, or a new YouTube channel that you would like for me to discuss on YouTube or Blog Talk Radio, you can email me at lej6521@gmail.com. And if you have a comment, please leave your comment in the comment section under the video. But make sure that your comments are pithy, no bloviating, pettifogging, or filibustering if you wish to opine. Now that's it for this video. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. Remember, please be gentle and respectful, and have a wonderful and blessed evening. Good night.